Good evening, all. It is Friday night, and welcome to All Four Back, episode 29. I am Chester 430, and I'm joined, as always, by Hadlington. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
And he's not in Corfu this week. He's back home in his study. Welcome back, Shads. Good evening, sir.
Yes, I'm back home in my study with no disco music blaring out tonight, thankfully.
That was.
Evening all.
If there was an award for the most memorable moment of the year, then I think that will pretty much top it off. I think.
Yeah, I'm a bit sorry about that, but I was using my phone and I couldn't figure out how to mute the mics. I just switched the phone off.
Oh dear.
I had a bit of a panic. I'd had a few oozos, to be fair. So
It was quite a interesting few minutes, that's for sure.
yeah, I had to make the most of happy hour.
Oh, that's class. So, anyways, on tonight's show, we have a Rider news announcement for the Rye House Warriors. We have the league reviews from the 15th and 16th of July. Also have the league table as per usual. Shad's Rider of the Week. We have our Week 8 preview, which is, of course, the Knockout Cup second legs. And we also have the Week 7 rearranged preview, which is the Panthers against the Wolves. Now, first of all, we are going to bring on the first order of business.
Hang on a minute. Capes is moaning already. He's only been in the chat for a minute.
Capesy, what surprise? Well, we weren't made aware of a rider announcement, Capesy. Well, I don't. I mean, if we
is that Crook?
I think we announced it, didn't we? I'm sure we did.
It's so long ago since they signed him. Has he actually been in practice yet?
Oh, we did mention it, Capesy. Sorry, mate. Well, I guess it's two bits of news, and I guess Crook has signed for the Panthers of Plymouth. Of course, a good signing for the Panthers there. Hopefully, he'll bring in the points. But and also the other bit of news we do have is, of course, the Warriors' new signing. Of course, we all heard a couple of weeks ago that Badger has sadly had to step away from the game. And in his place will come in the Smiler. So the Smiler making a return to league action. Of course, Tank is in the chat with us. I don't know if his mic is actually working. Tank, can you make yourself known if you are in? I'm sure you are, because obviously your mic was working in the other chat. Let's see if Tank is willing to speak. Tank, are you there? He doesn't seem to be there. It's technical difficulties once again. But again, Warriors kind of languishing towards the bottom end of the table. Hans, do you think this sign of the Smiler will boost the Warriors team?
Yeah, I think so. We all know what we get with Adam coming in. He voted in their meeting last week, and he also stepped into the GP the week before. So yeah, I think he'll definitely give a stronger middle order to the Warriors for sure.
Well, I think
it makes the pool a little bit less deep now, doesn't it?
It does indeed, yeah. Tank says, "Sorry, we'll sort him mic out if he unplugged." Oh, typical Tank. Can't get the staff these days, can you? Hopefully, Tank will join us in a few moments' time, so he can give his thoughts on his new rider for his Warriors team. Tank, are you there, my good sir? Good evening. So we have just said about Smiler coming into the Warriors team, effective immediately. Good signing for you boys. So of course the Warriors go into Knockout Cup action next week. We're going to get into that details in big detail at the second half of the show. But of course it leads on to the league reviews of last week. And Tank, you took the Warriors up to Hyde to take on the Spartans. And all I can say is, wow, what happened? Mhm. Yeah, of course, you got the second leg of the Knockout Cup taking place next week. Of course, you hold a 20-point lead against the Norse, the in-form Hackney Norse. I must add. But even with the performance of your lad, I guess you were happy that how they performed despite the scoreline. Yeah, of course. Obviously, I guess missing Craig, obviously a former Hyde rider from last year. I guess it certainly didn't help your cause very much. That's the aim, to get that one over on him. Yeah.
Tank, did you not use the tack sub at all? Any reason why not? Hmm. Yeah, I mean, there are some captains that would have put a tack sub in just to spoil someone's maximum, wouldn't they, Hadlington?
You know what? I'll just type in that.
Like when you 30 odd points down and you use a tack sub in heat 12 or whatever it was to spoil someone's maximum. I remember that was that season 16 Tank, wasn't it? Warriors. Yeah. I still haven't forgotten that, don't worry.
That sounds very familiar to what Sam Malenko did for Birmingham. He was like used the tax of 14, wasn't it, or something like that, when he was like 30
let's spoil Shag's first ever maximum and put Stephen 101 in his attack sub. Yeah, why not?
And of course, he hasn't even he's kept that in his mind all the time.
Yeah.
Oh dearie me.
But I'm not bitter.
Yeah, that's saying it lightly, Shads. So it was a big win for the Spartans on Monday night. They obviously bounced back after that. I think they had a defeat last time, if I'm correct in saying. They've gone back onto a back-to-back win. I think I'm not too sure in terms of league. So I haven't been watching much in the way of racing in terms of like this week because I've been so busy with work. But we headed on to Tuesday, and this was the match against the Cowboys against the in-form table toppers Hackney Norse, and it was the Cowboys that gave Hackney their first league defeat of the season, a 47-43 win for the Cowboys. Once again, another track record for Steph in Heat 7. But again, this match was very, very close. Hads, your thoughts on the Cowboys against Hackney? So, of course, it went down to almost a last heat decider.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was actually streamed as well, which was a good one to stream. Really, really good racing from both teams. There wasn't a lot, obviously, there all the way through. They were tied at Heat 10, and then the 5-1 from the Cowboys just pushed them in front, and they took it to the last heat. Obviously, the Norse with the 4-2. But yeah, it was a cracking. If you haven't watched it, go back and watch it. There was some really, really good racing all round. Again, obviously for the Cowboys, Stefan 10+2. Obviously, with Super Dips continued his form as well, and Bobby all scoring double figures. But I think for me, one of the not finds of the season, but one of the, I don't know how to put it, is Le Sorcier on that average. I mean, he's just so much better than a 4.25, and he scores 6, 7, 8 points a meeting easily. So in the end, I think there was a little bit of a difference, but I think we have to look again. Norse didn't have Max as number 1, and they've only lost by 4 points. I mean, if he rides, are we looking at a Norse win? We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they had 8 heat winners as well, as well. Which is,
obviously, Fakey winning 4 heats as well. I mean, if you watch some of the heats, he was really, I mean, he's really, really stepped it up a lot this season, especially without Max riding in a few matches. He's had to lead from the front, and his team are just following on behind him, really. So fair play to him.
I think they could have got a result there if Max would have been riding, I reckon.
Well, to be fair, I mean, for Fakey to beat Stefan, I think it was what twice, beat him twice, and only dropped 1 point. I mean, that's in itself, getting over on the number 1 rider for the Cowboys is no mean feat. But again, it was the consistency of the scores that got the Cowboys over the line. And like you said, I mean, if Max had raced, could we have had a Norse win? Could well be. Like I said, it's never scripted, this sport, so anything's possible.
Something I did notice watching I watched it back the next day, poolside, as I was the kids were splashing about. And did anyone notice the pool riders using a slightly different line from previously? Because I think on the third bend that they seem to be diving into the bend, because mostly they were going outside in the first couple of meetings. Did anyone else notice it? Was it just me?
It's a shame that Fakey's not in the chat. We could have asked him, but
I can't, off the top of my head, I can't really remember, because I don't think I've seen the first.
I watched it, and I noticed there were a lot of them using the inside on 3 and 4, and they weren't using it on the first couple of meetings. Most of them were going wide. I don't know if that's if something they've discovered. I mean, Stefan broke the track record as well in Heat 7.
Yeah.
So maybe, and a lot of scores, a lot of times were very close to 37 or under 37. So maybe they discovered the faster line into bend 3. I don't know. I watch the recordings back and check it, but I'm pretty sure I've noticed that watching it back.
Yeah.
Capesy saying he can't hear someone.
Someone.
It's fine. There we go. He's fixed it.
I think it's something to do with him.
He's fixed it.
He's always moaning about something, isn't he?
Obviously, also Stefan beat Fakey for the silver helmet, didn't
he? Yeah.
And he was pretty brutal in especially the second race,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, he
Steph-
was. He
Stefan-
was, wasn't he?
Stefan wins back the silver helmet that he had pretty much, was it three seasons in a row?
Yeah. I think
Uh,
so.
Maybe I think it's going to be tough to get it off him now.
It'll be another 3 seasons before someone takes it off him as well now. So, but yeah, once again, Stefan leading from the front. For Stefan to only have one heat win though is very surprising, because you would think, around Poole that Steph would be, getting more than just one heat win, but he came good when it matters. Got that 5-1 in Heat 11 with Super Dip, which sort of fired the Cowboys in front. And of course, Norse getting their first league defeat of the season, but they still remain top.
Yeah.
Which does bring us on
Steph
to
does a lot of team riding though, Dan, doesn't he?
Yes, yeah, he does.
He tends to give up a lot of the wins to protect his partner.
Yeah. Well, so looking at the league table, we see there Hackney is currently at top on 10 points, one ahead of Poole Cowboys, because the Cowboys do have a match in hand. Then we have the Hyde Spartans on 9 points, and a big gap between third place Hyde and fourth place Newcastle, currently on 5 points. Birmingham still with that single point, and still yet to trouble the scorers are the Panthers and the Warriors. So again, it's still early days yet, but that table that we had prior to the season starting looks very different to what we had previous. But yeah, Hackney, the surprise package, definitely for the start of the season. Yeah, but again, Norse, Cowboys, Spartans, any one of those three could potentially be league title holders this year. They could win the league, but as I said, still a long way to go. So, as we say, anything can happen. And with that being said, I'm going to hand over to Shads for his usual Rider of the Week. So, Shads, over to you for the Rider of the Week.
Yes, my Rider of the Week this week, I only had 2 meetings to choose from. Looking at the riders, there's not that many. I can go for. I can special mentions to Ryan, 11 plus 3 from 5, and Ben Thompson, good score from him from 7 rides, paid 15. D.L. Shaw, 11 plus 2 from 5, but against a pretty woeful Warriors side. Pareto with a very rare 6-ride maximum, 6-ride full maximum. I can't remember seeing many of those. I know he's had it. I know Toreto's had a few before. I think he's had about 4 or 5 maximums already. Thrax, a good score, paid 9. It might not sound a lot, but no last places, and it was the only Warriors rider not to get a last place. So well done to him. Stefan, Dip, and Bobby in the other meeting. But my rider of the week is between 2 riders really. It's Toretto with his 18-point maximum, but a lot of head scratching and a lot of tossing of coins, and I eventually came down to Fecky as my rider of the week, purely because he was riding away from home, and he only dropped a point, and that's against Bobby. He never lost to Stefan all night, apart from the silver helmet. So my rider of the week this week is Fecky.
Oh, well done to Fecky there, the Hackney Norse. That's another Hackney rider that's been given the Rider of the Week this week. Of course, the Hackney boys certainly are giving it the beans this year, aren't they? But well done, Fecky. Greatly well deserved. He's not in the chat, unfortunately, this evening, so we can't obviously give him a special mention because he's not in the chat. So with that being said, chaps, we are going to head on to our first break. And when we come back, we're going to look into the Knockout Cup previews in detail, which is the Norse against the Warriors and Cowboys versus Spartans. And we also have that week 7 rearranged fixture of the Panthers versus the Wolves. So grab a drink, stretch your legs. We'll see you back here in a couple minutes' time. And welcome back to All Four Back with myself, Chester, Hads, and Shad. We could be having a record show length tonight, guys. I mean, we're at the second part of the show, and it's been going half an hour, so yeah, it should be quite a quick one tonight. So with that being said, we're going to go on to the Knockout Cup previews, and this will take place at week 8 of the season. And first of all, we have on Sunday, 21st of July at 9 p.m, the Hackney Norse up against the Rye House Warriors. The Warriors defend a 20-point lead from the first leg at Rye House. So the Norse with it all to do. And obviously, all eyes are going to be on Hackney if they have a full-strength team. And judging by, well, I think we can all say if Hackney are going to be full strength, then they will be tough to beat. Especially around Hackney. Hads, do you agree with that? Obviously, of course, it's a 20-point lead for the Warriors, but as they say, anything can happen here. How do you think this meeting's going to go?
I think the Norse will win. Whether it's going to be enough to get them through, we'll have to wait and see. I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close if they turn up with a full team and Warriors struggle maybe. I know some of their availability is not the best at times, so it's going to be a close one. I think North will win, but it's going to be close. I think.
Warriors only lost by 8 points in the league.
Yeah, true. So if they can get 36, they're through. It's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be close. I'm going to predict a golden heat race. That's what we'll do.
So you think Hackney will have that 20-point cushion, and then they'll have a golden heat?
Yeah, that's my prediction for this week.
That's very bold.
Yeah, Shad.
Why not? It's fine.
Shad, do you agree with that?
No. Depending on the lineups, you don't know, do you? But you'd assume that Norse picking the Knights would know their availability was pretty good. If they picked the two Knights, they wouldn't have gone. They wouldn't have gone for a night where 2 or 3 riders weren't available. If they've got Max back, I can see them getting close to the Warriors. Blimey, how difficult. If Norse get off to a really good start, I think the Warriors could collapse here. But 20 points is a lot of points to get back. A lot of points. No tactical subs as well. So I'm gonna just pick the Warriors just to sneak it, I think.
Well, hopefully, if the Warriors are led by Craig, of course, he scores well wherever he goes.
Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, Sunday, 21st of July at 9 o'clock.
Craig should be available on Sunday.
Yeah. I think Craig, being the talisman of the Warriors team, he scores the points from everywhere he goes. So hopefully he turns up and gives them the boost that they need to get them across the line.
Craig Cavati.
Craig Cavati. Craig Cavati. Sounds that, doesn't it? So 20 points. Hackney will want to go full strength to get them over the line, because of course they're not the league leaders for no reason at all. I mean, they've been riding well home and away, whether it's been in the league, whether it's been in the cup, and they've just been training. And Hackney have been a surprise team this year. They've surprised everybody, being top of the league, having been at the bottom last season. I think, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but I think last year's Hackney team was more of an R&D, so a research and development team. And they've come into this year with effectively the same team as they had last year, and have been literally wiping the floor with everybody. And if, like I said, Rye House have got a tough task if Hackney arrive at the Norse with a full strength team. But yeah, only time will tell on the 21st of July at 9 o'clock. Of course, that's about 10 for the Hackney team. Of course, about an hour ahead of us in terms of time. And on the 24th of July, which is a Wednesday, also at 9 p.m, we have the second leg of the Cowboys against the Spartans. The Cowboys hold a 48-42 win from the first leg. So the Spartans have it all to do, but they have riders that have experience around Poole. Chaz, I'm going to bring up this one if I can, mate. Spartans and Cowboys. How do you see this one going?
I can't see any way that Spartans will get through this one. Cowboys are pretty strong at home. I think they did. Is it Norse? The other day got pretty close to them, but I mean, Spartans have got 8 points to pull back. Is it 6 points to pull back? Sorry. No, I can't see anything but a Poole Cowboys win on the night, which will send them through to the final.
Well, Hobnob there saying Poole lovely track. Was that sarcasm there, Hobnob? Had, do you agree with Shaz there? A potential for a Cowboys victory this one?
I do think the Cowboys will win, but I think it'll be closer than what we think. I think maybe about the same scoreline as the first leg. I think it all depends how they pick up the track. I mean, they've got dialed in now. Poole scoring 60 in their last match, so I think it all depends on how they take to the track, because Cappy and Ben have been pretty important scoring the points at home when one of the top two hasn't scored as many points as they should do. And if they can do that here, I think it'll be a narrow Cowboys win.
Well, I mean, Toretto is coming off that 18 max, I believe he got last week, so he's on a little bit of form now. So he could be potentially the one to watch for the Spartans. Of course, with Racer Ryan, DL Shaw, all guaranteed league winners, heat winners. It's just going to be that bottom half that need to sort of support the top three of the Spartans to make it close. Of course, we have like Stefan, who's been piling in the points wherever he's gone. Super Dip getting some decent results now as the season's gone on. When matches are close, it's hard to tell who's going to win. Like, it's both teams are going to going all out for that Heat 15 win, and just going from there. But again, like I said, Cowboys could be potentially a home win. Like I said, it all depends which Spartans turn up. If there is a sting in the tail, shall we say, for the Spartans. But I said anything's possible, and we'll find out on Wednesday.
A full strength Cowboys will beat a full strength Spartans.
Hey, you heard it there first, chaps. You heard it there first. Shouts with a bold prediction. A full strength Cowboy will beat a full strength Hyde Spartans. Interesting. Only time will tell on that 24th of July. I'm not sure if any of these meetings are going to get streamed this week. As I said, we are still trying to find as many matches to stream as best we can. Just trying to find availability for streamers and commentators and screen sharers and all that. It's not that easy getting it all there and then straight out the box. But we are trying to, as the media team, trying to get the best for the viewers, and because as I say, you never know who could be watching. But anyway, only time will tell when that happens. And our final preview is we're going to go back a week. Takes place on the same night as the Cowboys versus Spartans, and it's the week 7 of the Plymouth Panthers against the Birmingham Wolves. And the Plymouth Panthers languishing at the bottom of the table. They're looking for that all-important Heat win, that all-important first league win of the season to kickstart their campaign this year. But again, Birmingham Wolves, tough team. They've got riders with, big scoring capabilities. Hads, I'll start with you first of all, mate, if I can. How does this one going? Paul, Plymouth versus Birmingham.
I think it's going to be a close one. See, both teams haven't had a league victory so far. I think Panthers did look better on their home track in their last match they had there. But obviously, Kane is now number one as well, with Barney dropping out and Crook will come in. Probably I'd suggest number 5, you'd think. But they, again, another team with a solid middle order, Scotty B and Skyrider. I'm not sure if Capes will be riding because I do know he has a SCUK match on Wednesday. So I think it'll be a battle of availability, really. I mean, because I know obviously it was called off to begin with. So I think it all depends what teams can be put out, to be honest. But I expect it to be close.
Well, Capesy, they're saying STS first, so he'll be there. And of course, the inclusion of Crook 66 making his home debut, I believe. If I can be corrected with that, I'm not sure if it is his home debut. It is his home debut.
He hasn't rode at all yet for them.
So it is a home debut for Crook. So no pressure, Crook. I'm sure you'll be scoring the big points around Plymouth. Shads, your thoughts on Plymouth against Birmingham? How do you see it going?
Well, like Had said, neither side has won a meeting, any sort of meeting this season. I think it's very interesting to note that Wolves, by the time the meeting comes along next week, Wolves wouldn't have ridden at all for 22 days. And
Oof.
Panthers, it would be Panthers 30 days since they had a meeting.
Oof.
So that's good. That both teams are going to be pretty rusty, I think. I mean, practice is one thing, but actually riding in a meeting against other riders from other teams, it's a totally different thing, as you well know. But I mean, to not have a meeting for 30 days, a full month for the Panthers, that's going to be quite telling, I think. I mean, this one's a hard one to predict, but I should think both teams full strength. I think Wolves could win this one. I don't think it's going to be a runaway victory. Both teams are staring down at the wooden spoon at the moment, so neither side's going to want to lose this one because getting sort of almost halfway through the season soon. And you've got 3 teams down the bottom looking at the wooden spoon. I think Wolves would be pretty safe. I think it's between the Panthers and the Warriors at the moment.
Yeah.
Panthers need to start winning meetings.
Hads, do you agree with that one, mate?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously both teams will obviously be going out for the win. But I think it's going to come down, if it does, by the bottom end riders again. I mean, we've seen how well Craigie Hall's been doing this season. I mean, I know his averages, I know it's not changed yet, but he'd be in the middle of that side once the averages do change. I mean, if he set reserve and Hutty and Liam, if they do ride and not on it, then he'll be scoring some. It could be the match winner for the Panthers again. I'll say again for the Panthers, I think.
Well, Capesy there saying only had 2 meetings in the league. We will not be getting the wooden spoon, says Capesy. So bold prediction there from Capesy. And Stephen there says snap as well. So overall, out of all the meetings that are taking place this week, what's your standout meeting? Had start with you.
I'm going to go Norse against Warriors because I think there's a potential that Norse could turn that round.
Yeah, I agree with Hads.
Yeah, I'll third that. That's going to be one that will be the one to look out for.
I mean, if you could get that one streamed, I think it'd be a good one.
Yes,
the other two on the same day.
Yes,
or it could be over in 3 heats. Warriors get 3-5-1.
True.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is very true. Well, I I think, chaps, unless there's anything else we need to discuss about, we can close off tonight's show if you guys got anything else to talk about.
Did somebody say availability?
Hads, the floor is yours, good sir.
Come on, Hads. You're reaching to say something, mate.
No, we were just on about bringing like a little topic in at the end of the show a couple of weeks ago. It's referring to the meeting on the screen there, really. I mean, the availability. We know it was the match got cancelled because both teams agreed for it to be cancelled. I mean, with the Summer League now revolving this time around, obviously more people are not going to be able to vote because they'll be busier and stuff, which is, totally understandable. But I think the question really is, should riders have to be available a certain number of days or to be able to commit to league racing, or do we just accept the fact that it's in the summer, we're busier and, people don't practice and just turn up for meetings because obviously there is, I've had riders in previous teams that haven't practiced and then you have to ride them due to the minimum meetings, so to speak. And is that a thing we need to look at? I'm not sure. Do we need to set different days for certain teams to ride? Each team has a day for the home track or something. I'm not sure what the answer is, to be honest.
I think what we talked about, what I mentioned in our chat earlier was maybe the summer league. Maybe it should be just a summer league, like a 14 tournament thing like we had before, or maybe mix up with pile up or individuals or something like that, rather than have a full league season in the summer, because a lot of people do go
obviously
away.
I see what Scott is saying. Obviously, you're not going to be cancelling no holidays, are you? I mean, come on.
Of course not.
At the end of the day, it's only a game. But
yeah,
I
think it might be a little bit overly ambitious to have a full league season.
Maybe to start with, I think, because
in hindsight,
obviously people are not going to be available as much in the summer. I mean, if you use Warriors as an example, I mean, they rode on the 4th of June in week 1. When we rode them, and Tank on the podcast, was it last week or the week before? He said they practiced just before the meeting when they rode against us at the Pyman, and that was the 3rd of July, so that's a month without practice and meeting. I mean, obviously, there is stuff in place that you should be practicing. I mean, do we just, ignore that because it's a summer league, or do we just get on with it and, take it as what it is? And
you're going to have availability issues in the summer or the winter, really. But it does seem to be a bit more sort of during the summer months when people are away. I mean, you got someone like Limo, probably would have been in the league if it had been in the winter.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I know, like David,
even unknown.
Yeah, I mean, there's what Bobby says there. It's trial and error, basically.
Yeah, it's right. I mean, let's say it's always in hindsight, isn't it? You just don't know, do you? But maybe it might be a better idea just to have like a tournaments, like individuals and things like Ben Thompson had held something, didn't he? He had a different rounds of something in the summer, wasn't it? Did like a 7 meeting series, and you got a lap series, things like that, or a 4-team tournament, a mini tournament, anything like that, rather than just a full league.
Yeah,
definitely. I mean, do we change the format in the summer? I mean, I know we had 4v4. I mean, I think I don't know if I suggested it. I've suggested it to a few people. If anyone's ever seen the Danish format, they use 5 versus 5. I mean, that could easily create an 8th team, and you wouldn't have to get as many people. You could ride with 4 if you need be.
I think you just wait. I think it's just best to wait until the end of the season and then sort of digest it then, rather than we're not even halfway through the season yet. So, I mean, we don't know, do you? I mean, it could pick up. I mean, some holidays. I mean, started now. School's finished, so I think the riders with families will be going away. now more often. I know Scotland started theirs a couple of weeks ago, but I think a lot of the English schools finished today, didn't they? So after a while, I think it's just best to wait and see at the end of the season, then sort of like have a look at it and see what we're going to do next time round.
I mean, also like when who was it who said? I think you said Chad's one team hadn't raced for 22 days, another
30
for
days
30.
for Panthers. Yeah.
Warriors didn't ride for a month. I mean, Pinemen, we haven't rode for 2 weeks. We've got a week off next week. Maybe
The Warriors
we
didn't
need to.
start to week 3, didn't they? Is it 2 weeks they had
Yeah,
off or something?
maybe we need to move things around and put the cup later on. I don't know. Do we have the second legs? I don't know. Obviously, it's all again trial and error, just to try and. I know it's early days, but there seems to be a lot more guests and rider replacements than there was last season already for me, which
It
is
doesn't
never a
help
good
that
thing.
the pool's pretty thin, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not the greatest. I mean, as I said, everyone has things that they need to do and etc. etc. But then they all had the idea to talk about excuse me, they all had a chance to to voice their concerns and get their ideas on the table. And then of course this one was done. But like I said, it's still early season yet, so anything can change. Around this time of year, obviously it is more difficult in terms of availability for riders and stuff.
yeah.
It doesn't really affect anything at the top of the table with Panthers and Wolves holding over for a week.
Yeah, I think it's just interesting as well when you say, look, teams haven't rid for that long. Are they becoming uninterested because they haven't rode for that long? I mean, we've already mentioned 3 teams who haven't rode for over 20 days.
There's only so much you can practice, isn't there, without anything at the end of it. But I'm sure they'll start practicing now. Now they've got something to practice for.
It's definitely something to look forward to in the future. It's just its availability and all that, like how you do it.
Sign up for the pool then.
You got no chance, mate. No chance, not me. The game just became too serious for me, and I sort of lost my enjoyment. So, when I came back in during that lockdown summer series, that summer league that we had back in the day, I mean that was good, but it was just got a bit too much, really. Just got a bit too serious and just lost the enjoyment. But I'm sure most people still have that enjoyment. Thank you, Capesy. Appreciate that. There goes off my Christmas card list. Oh
dear.
Thank you, Capesy. Yeah, another year not on it. Oh dear. Oh well. I'll remember that for future. On the flip side, I've been very grateful for the guest booking, says Craig Hill, unless he wiping Craig out. Jesus.
Put the video on, thank.
Oh, for God's sake. We'll
get it on before the end of the season, don't we?
Yeah. Well. I'm sure we will. As like the moment of the year, we've got either Shad's behind the scenes disco music whilst in Corfu, or me taking off Craig at the first corner of Cycle Speedway. Oh dear, still plenty more to go. So with that being the way, guys, I think it's about time we can wrap up the show. Unless anything else can be discussed. I think we've all got it in pretty much good stead. So I think the podcast will be released 8:00 tomorrow, so to get a chance to listen to it back. So with that being said, I will say a good night to Hablington.
Good night, everyone.
I will say good night to Shads.
Good night, lads.
And it's a good night from me, Chester. We will see you all next week. for another episode of All Four Back. Stay safe, ride fair, and good luck to all those in Knockout Cup. Until next time,
Put 'em
take
in the
care.
fence.
And God damn it, ads! Damn it! Right, take care, all. We'll see you all next week. Take care. Good night.